Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. This is Bumzilla112 coming at you with another War Thunder video. This video is going to be another tank tutorial. This one will be focusing on the heavy tanks. As you can see, we're on Abandoned Factory, and I have my travel path set up. What my plan is to get myself into hardened cover, so I don't have to worry about my left and right flanks. And the only thing I have to be really concerned about is the front of my vehicle. Hope you guys enjoy. So to start this off, once again I got the whole initial movement on 2x speed. Let me know if you guys just want me to cut out the initial movement, get into position. Because honestly, this is the best way that I can show how I move around the map and what I personally like to do. Everyone plays differently. Little disclaimer: not everyone's gonna play the same. Obviously, play the same way that I play, but this is how I utilize heavy tanks. Biggest thing that you can come or get out of anything in this game mode is map knowledge. Know where player travel paths are. You're always gonna have somebody that likes to pull up to the corner of this building right here, and you're always gonna have people that like to pull down into the silos that are just to my 11 o'clock. That's why I'm keeping focused on that. And right there you can see there's a guy that was coming from Bravo. So here we are. We'll speed up this portion. Always making sure to keep as much cover between you and the enemy. Now remember, just because you're in a heavy tank doesn't mean you're indestructible. You have some very glaring weaknesses for every heavy tank in the game. Like the T34 that I'm using right now, it's the lower plate is one of the biggest weaknesses, and any German 88 can punch through that. Tiger H1 can pop you. Look at that guy, he's completely oblivious. I'd about shit my pants right there. I don't completely ignore them, but I know I have a target over here to my left that I need to take care of, or at least put them out of commission. Take out the cannon breach and carry on, because what's going on up here at C point needs to be dealt with. Now, every time you move, always make sure you have the next couple of steps in mind. I've already thought about what I was going to do after I made my movement to these concrete pipes right here. There's my first buddy. Another thing to remember is know what you're shooting at. That, of course, was a T34. They store their armor or their ammo as you're looking at them in their left front. And I just happened to see that guy's barrel poking through that wall. It's kind of a cheap kill, but yeah, a kill is a kill, right? We'll speed up on through this portion, this movement. And again, I know there's been a lot of people dying, so I know that I gotta watch my right flank as much as possible, and whoop, there's a guy right there. Use that third person camera as much as possible in any type of tank that you're using, but at higher BR matches, like 6.7 and up, it's almost a must that you should be using that third person camera every time, because the experience of players at the higher BRs is definitely something you got to take into account. I don't know how that guy survived that shot, but this next shot too was weird. Somehow he started on fire again. I don't know. But here's a little example for you of why even though you're in a heavy tank, doesn't mean you're indestructible. That was a perfect bomb drop. Ugh. Alright, we'll move on to the next one. Alright, here we are on Poland. And this is an example of sometimes you don't need to continue to advance with your heavy tank. Sometimes it is best to use distance as an advantage. So here we are, we're fast forward through the movement. There wasn't much movement going on in this game. But here's in this video you're going to get a lot of good examples of angling and how not to drive into corners of buildings. Again, it's know your travel paths. You're always going to get guys coming down this secondary road right here. So we'll speed up through the repair. And again, know your tank's weaknesses. On the Tiger H1, you have a huge weakness in your lower front plate. Hits right into the transmission. Sometimes could kill your driver, machine gunner. Just remember that. Sometimes even the most oblique angles don't save your lower plate. Sometimes tracks just save everyone. But here's a good example. You want to point that front left corner as much as you can at the enemy. That's an extreme oblique angle that you want to take. That's an example of an extreme oblique angle. I waited for him to shoot a second time, and I know the Comet ones have extremely fast reload times, but I took the chance anyways and came out the victor. Now, I don't know how this guy saw me. He's shooting through all kinds of foliage and all kinds of other stuff. But he is on point, but he's bouncing, so I'm fine with that. Just keep the angle and get to cover. Try and figure out where it's coming from. We'll speed up again here. Like I said, sometimes being in a heavy tank doesn't mean you have to slug it out face to face with anything. Sometimes the further away you are, the better. It means that your armor is more effective than it would be, of course, up close. But see how my tank is angled in the bottom left corner? I have the front right corner of my tank facing toward where the enemy is. Now I know that side armor is extremely exposed, but that's the nature of the beast. You want to try and keep as much cover, blocking that side as much as possible. I mean, you can only do so much. That side armor is so weak on these Tigers. But again, see, I point my left hand corner of my tank toward the enemy. Just continue to change whatever direction you're going to angle. Just make sure that you have the most oblique angle possible, so that if they do get a shot on you, hopefully they decide to shoot for a front portion of your vehicle. And this is another example of know your weapons and the velocity of your rounds. I play a lot of German vehicles. I really enjoy German vehicles. They're fun. As you can see, I didn't have to push into the middle of the city to be effective. I am just barely outside of my spawn, and I'm still being an extremely effective player defending Bravo. And I defended the mid portion of our map from any potential spawn campers. You can't seem to pin that comment from this from how he's angled at me. And again, you see how I took that angle and I just nudged it a little bit more to try and maybe defend myself against it, any incoming attack. And the oh so wonderful tree gets in the way. But as you can see here, this is a good example of me defending my right side of my tank with that house and keeping it in an extreme oblique angle. I got two contacts. I have one difficult shot and I got one easy shot, so why not go for the easy guy first? I still don't understand why people like to use that side of Bravo and hang out on that side of the hill. But there's an example of why sometimes even angling the most angle that you could possibly give the enemy doesn't matter. That's not even a really oblique angle, but he's still, you would think it was enough, right? But that lower plate, just such a giant meaty target to hit. Boom. Tough, but not indestructible. Well, I hope you guys learned something from this video. Thanks for watching. It's Bumzilla out.